So I got a question. Should I sell my Sony A7 III in exchange for the Canon EOS R? Now wait, before you start throwing lemons and tomatoes and eggs and all that stinky, smelly, sticky stuff, please player, don't do that. Listen to what I have to say. Okay, so I'm coming to you as a person that owns both of these devices, not as someone who is thinking about getting rid of their Sony A7 III in order to purchase a Canon EOS R, but someone who has both and has found more use and compatibility technically with the EOS R over the A7 III. That use and compatibility and convenience comes at a huge price in some areas, but in some areas it comes as a huge gain and advantage. Like 1080p video, for instance. This setup, which I'm using right now, the EOS R, is just the A1 go-to for 1080 video production. Why do I say that? Because the 1080 files are a lot smaller, a lot easier to cut and edit through, and it's super convenient. Now granted, I'm not getting 120 frames per second super slow-mo in 1080, but I don't do those kind of slow motion hookups. It is nice to have it. That's something that the A7 III does have. But when it comes to 1080, I'm just talking about color science and production, just out of camera, on the go, quick, fast, and easy. The EOS R absolutely does it better than the A7 III. And lately, I've been shooting everything 1080p. Why? Because everyone's watching YouTube on their smartphones anyway. I was huge, I still am huge on 4K. Absolutely love watching videos in 4K on my 4K monitor and so forth. You know, I got a 5K and a 4K, you know, I got problems. But when it comes to just me creating 1080 content, I feel like I'm better off doing it on Canon. Another huge, super convenient reason is the flip out screen. I can see it right now. I can see the framing over my face with the eye autofocus in full effect right now. That speaks volume, especially on the go shooting. Vlogging. How you gonna vlog if you can't see in frame while you're moving around? I absolutely love that. I'm producing a video that I am in, and I'm able to see it from the eye of the producer and the creator. So I get to be the performer and creator at the exact same time. It is absolutely super 100% valuable. The A7 III can in no way offer that to me. I have to put on an external monitor, which adds weight, just a huge inconvenience to portability. It doesn't make sense. Another reason, which you may have heard me speak about, is the Canon color science. It's real serious. Now granted, the A7 III, the color science has greatly improved from past Sony color science, but it's not yet on par with the color science of Canon. I gotta keep it 100%. Man, you could take some stills on a Canon and it's ready to go. On the Sony, there's a little bit more finagling. Same thing when it comes to video. When I shoot C-Log, C-Log, oh, that'd be another. Canon is gonna produce far better color science than Sony. Granted, I gotta keep it a buck. The Sony 4K is so much more sharper and crispier than Canon. I don't even use 4K when I'm using the Canon cameras, which is why I said that 1080 is my ideal preference and use on Canon. But I do have the option of 4K. It has a crop, I have to push it back a little bit more. But then I lose dual pixel autofocus, which is absolutely amazing and great. So it just makes more sense to use it as a 1080 power shooter. But that 4K on the A7 III is something to die for. Technically it's 6K, downres to 4K, excuse me, player. And that is one of the big reasons why even thinking of letting go of the A7 III in exchange for the EOS R, I'm doing myself a disservice. And yeah, I don't know about that one, player. But answer me this, if technically right now, 90% of my productions and my videos are being made on the EOS R, does it make sense to keep the A7 III? Now granted, when it comes to maybe big brand client work, I think having that super crispy 4K to work with is clutch and what you would need. Say if I'm doing sponsored deals or branded content, then the A7 III becomes more of the ideal, but I can get away with the EOS R, but the A7 III I think is more of the ideal camera in those situations. So what do I do? Another thing to think about is lenses. Lenses on the Canon ecosystem are far more affordable as opposed to Sony. This is an EF mount. This isn't the new RF mounts that go with the EOS R, but I'm able to use this EF lens. And I got the adapter free when I purchased the Canon EOS R anyway. So I got this lens for half the price of the G Master. Granted, it's an f4 as opposed to the G Master. The equivalent of this would be an f2.8. Now, if you go with that 2.8 in the Canon ecosystem, it becomes around the same price as Sony. But the fact that I got the equivalent with an F4 and I'm able to get out and vlog with this bad boy and get super nice footage at a better pricing. Here's another point. The 50mm f1.8, that nifty 50 that's on my camera now, $120. Sony has yet to match that. So obviously, the Sony A7III is the best pound for pound mirrorless full frame camera in the market right now, period. I've said that 1,000 times and I absolutely know that. But if my majority of use is favored to the EOS R, does it make sense to hold on to the Sony A7 III? I just wanna know your opinions. I'm asking you, should I even sell or consider selling the A7 III in exchange for just rocking with the EOS R specifically? This is just a thought that I've had in my head. Now, let me give you a little bit more context. I do shoot an A and B camera majority of the times, not this time, but my B cam to the EOS R is the Canon M50. Now, when it comes to the Sony ecosystem, it's the A7 III paired with the A6300. The more ideal B cam to the A7 III is the A6400. So technically, as far as a combo, I'll be doing myself better if I got rid of the A6300, grabbed the A6400, but I'm using my EOS R and M50 far more than the Sony at the moment. So yeah, I really don't know what to do. Do I sell my Sony A7 III or do I hold on to it and use it seldomly?